r/ask Reddit. What happened to your school bully? This guy made my life hell in elementary. After high school, he appeared to be reformed and apologized. He even seemed very nice and went on a few dates with my former roommate. I still got a seriously creepy vibe from him. The kind of vibe where you know you shouldn't be alone with him. I thought I was just being judgy. Turns out I was right. He's now in jail for rape, impersonating an officer, and arson. They had us in the first half. I'm not gonna lie. He convinced a guy to fake a drug deal with him. They killed a guy with a shotgun and dumped the body. Both ended up getting life in prison. It's a pretty sad story. Wait, was this near Kansas City? I remember hearing something eerily similar to that scenario. I am from Kansas City and don't know about this. Care to explain a bit? Saw him working at McDonald's a couple years later. Asked for McChicken sauce and he gave me a whole bag full of them. Debt paid. I had a guy contact me after I graduated who apologized for bullying me in high school and was having a tough time since graduation because he didn't have any friends. I think he got the wrong guy because I didn't even remember who he was. I do wonder if he's doing better sometimes. Ha, I don't remember you at all. That's a power move. He pestered me for like 2 years. Finally I hauled off and punched him in the face during gym class. We both got detention and ended up becoming really good friends in the process. Still not sure how it happened. Teenagers are weird. Anyway, he runs a brewery now. Bully to Bro to Brews. A life story by the Hallmark Channel. Rachel was breaking the lock off my locker every day in high school. I could never prove it was her, though. I went home for Christmas one year and needed a haircut. So I walked into a salon, and there she was. Her face lit up with that malignant smile she had in high school. And I turned around and walked out. No thanks. Good decision. He tried to rob a cop. He was shot in the head. Wait, backstory? He always bullied me and my friends. He even grabbed a friend who was short and dumped him in the trash can that we had inside our classroom. After high school he started to rob people and sell drugs. Broke into a house without knowing it was an officer's house. The officer was in the house. Chased him through the house and shot him in the head on the front yard. Bullied me the whole high school. 18 years later and he is my student. Wait, how does that happen? Trade school. I became a teacher in the electrical field and he came to do a 2-year course. My school bully lived next door to me back in the 80s in Southern California. She was a mean girl who meanly recruited even my friends to join in bullying me until I moved away at 15. She was just a terrible person who took my already shitty home life and made it so much worse by ruining my school life, including my walking to and from school life. I looked her up on Facebook and she is still very pretty and runs a successful looking real estate business. And even though I really like my life now, I couldn't help but think this is not how this is supposed to work. Oh well, maybe she is nicer now. She's ugly, and her real estate business isn't doing half as well as she makes it seem. Her whole life is a facade, and she's really unhappy and lonely. Don't worry, I got your back. Kid down the street tortured my brother, threw rocks at him, beat him up, emotionally and verbally attacked him. My parents had to talk to his parents about it a few times. They seemed just as lost on what to do as my parents. My brother was the kid that didn't have friends until basically after high school, when he started meeting with people he met gaming and had similar interests as him. Kid down the street ended up going to a different high school. We didn't hear much from him, though I knew his family hadn't moved. Randomly one day he rode his bike up to our house and rang the doorbell and apologized for everything. Really heartfelt and genuine. I don't think he became a successful person, but I know he's still alive and hanging around the area we grew up in. But obviously, and hopefully truly, he learned from his mistakes. Sometimes people just have crazy moments of self-reflection and just realize they gotta change their ways. Good for him, I guess. She was a classic mean girl who constantly talked behind people's backs and stirred up fights between people just for fun. I tried my best to stay on her good side, but she still picked on me quite a bit. Later I found out she was also a closeted lesbian who was nursing a crush on me. We had a bit of a relationship in which I found out she actually had a really tough home life and acted out compulsively. By graduation she had figured herself out and actually had a solid friend group. Now she's in grad school, doing well. I'm really happy for her. She is 400 pounds. She used to call me Orca. I was a bit chubby in middle school but not obese. That was a great moment running into her. I looked hot that day. She didn't. But did you call her Orca or made any snarky reference to it? Oh hey, I feel like I Orca remember you from somewhere. He fell down a flight of concrete stairs in front of the entire class. He fell down the stairs. He fell down the stairs 10 times. He had it coming. He had it coming. He only had himself to blame. He became a teacher at our old high school. Started trading grades for sexual favors with some of the teenage girls in his classes. One had a boyfriend who became rather upset about the situation and went to the police. Former bully is still doing time and be a registered sex offender when he gets out. He only bullied me for a little bit because he stopped after I kneed him in the balls. I found out later that he was from a broken family and felt bad for him. He has a little girl and his own non-broken family now. I'm happy for him. He killed himself last year by hanging himself from a tree with a bunch of nylon cord. Apparently his girlfriend was pushing him to do it. He's now just a normal guy who doing 9 to 5 job for provide shelter to his children. He's really good guy now. We meet every now and then. In my experience that's what happened with 85-90% of people I knew in high school. Bully? Saw them at Walmart. Normal job. Really popular but kind of a dong guy? Normal job at a factory. Girl that was too pretty to conceive the idea of asking out? Normal job. My bully moved on to another form of bullying. Instead of continuing to bully in person, now bullies others online in different ways. He actually changed into like an amazing dude. Just dropped the act one day in high school. Went to college. Now owns his own company on the side. Is a teacher. Is extremely personable. Has big dreams about helping people. I used to believe that people couldn't really change from their core self. But he is completely different. I'm in high school now and my elementary school bully raped my friend, and since his dad works for the school district, they pressured her to not report. So he's still playing varsity football and popular. He became a dad. His daughter is now in junior high. She is the same age as I was when I was bullied. He found me on Facebook and apologized for the way he treated me when we were kids. His daughter is getting bullied in junior high and comes home in tears every day. It made him realize he put me through every day when we were 11. It was closure for me. I've told this story on a deleted alt, but it bears repeating. One of my main bullies in high school was a hotshot hockey player who, along with his jock buddies, basically ran the school. I'll give credit where credit is due. When I say hotshit, I mean he was hot shit, as in he was expected to actually go pro and be the next Gretzky. Now, in a fit of self-abuse, I looked him up a few years ago on FB and found that he was the assistant coach of some shitty CCHL team. I thought that was odd. So I reached out to a mutual acquaintance for the whole story. Turns out that a year or so out of high school he blew out his knee while at practice. It was a horrendous injury that killed any shot of him ever going pro. While I try not to take pleasure in bad things happening to people, this prick made my life hell for 2.5 years until I turned 16. Took control of my educational future and switched out of the Catholic board into the public board. It's been 14 years since I've seen him and I still wouldn't piss on him if he were on fire. One knocked up some trashy girl and is working at Noodles & Company trying to pay child support. Another is starting his own business after a series of labor-intensive jobs and recently added me on all forms of social media to promote it. The third I haven't heard anything about. His Facebook has almost no information about what he's doing in life. About once a week he'll share a photo he took of something kinda spooky, but that's about it. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.